Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. Crime reported to police is down across the country, including here in Saskatchewan. Still, our province's crime severity index remains almost twice the national average. The new data from Statistics Canada shows the crime severity index, also known as the CSI, dropped 5% in 2025, just to over 75. Saskatchewan's crime severity index was also down 5% last year, measuring just over 146. But Saskatchewan RCMP say 60 of the province's 84 detachment areas patrolled by Mounties are over the national CSI. Of those, 11 are more than 10 times the national rate. Among the communities with the highest ranking are in the northern areas of Black Lake, Pelican Narrows, La Loche, and Cumberland House. The city of Prince Albert measures 285, with Saskatoon ranking at just over 108 and Regina at just over 91. The crime severity index measures both the volume and the seriousness of police-reported crime. Officers involved in the arrest that led to the death of Bowden Umferville testified on Wednesday on day 3 of an inquest into the incident. Umferville was forcibly removed after he refused to exit a car during a 2023 arrest for outstanding warrants. About 5 officers were involved with removing and handcuffing Umferville, which involved the use of tasers, batons, and pepper spray. Umferville had a loaded gun and a knife removed from his person. When restrained face down on the ground, Umferville was heard by an officer saying he could not breathe. An investigation by the Provincial Serious Incident Response Team concluded Umferville's death was the result of a cardiac arrest brought on by cocaine and positional asphyxia. The inquest is scheduled to continue tomorrow. An 18-year-old woman has died following an ATV rollover in northern Saskatchewan. RCMP say it happened yesterday morning just after 8:30 on the Canoe Lake Cree First Nation where the crash happened. The woman who died was a passenger on the vehicle. She was from the Canoe Lake Cree First Nation. The driver of the ATV was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Reports of transit fare dodging are up in Prince Albert as the city wants to remind residents about passenger guidelines before getting on the bus. The city says in recent months it's been receiving reports of passengers trying to ride transit with invalid, fraudulent, or misused fares. In some incidents, passengers presented handwritten or photocopied bus passes or refused to show proof of fare when requested. The city says these incidents delay service for other passengers and create unnecessary challenges for drivers. Passengers may be denied boarding if they refuse to follow transit rules, and repeat violations may lead to restricted use of transit. More information about transit fares and guidelines can be found on the City of Prince Albert website. All right smack dab in the middle of the week, what do we have in terms of weather as we look toward the weekend?
Well, right now things have calmed down a little bit. I know yesterday, John, we were talking about a pretty unsettled weekend for Prince Albert and areas, some showers and possibility of some thunderstorms. Now, in a spotty way, these things can still happen, but right now there's no organized threat to the area. But as we take a look at the area, you don't see a lot of active weather on the radar map. And yeah, we basically got ourselves a high pressure area that continues to dominate the situation. Some more of that hot air in the U.S. is going to really start making things warm across the prairie provinces in Western Canada as we make our way towards the weekend. But more on that later. We'll give you all the details on how warm it's going to get.
It was an awkward moment at a city committee meeting that has led to some strong opposition to the idea of rent control to help mitigate homelessness in Saskatoon. As part of a new homelessness action plan, an action item aimed at enhancing safeguards against unfair evictions and excessive rent increases is to advocate for rent control policy. That caused a stir with councillors asking administration to ensure supporting the plan meant they did not support rent control. At one point, the city manager believed it was in an earlier draft of the report before being told it made it into the final version. Now the Saskatchewan Realtors Association says before coming to the private sector to make homes more affordable, the city should look in the mirror at what it's doing to affect costs after years of slow approvals and land use decisions.
But it's really hard to take a look at a report that has, the logo of the city of Saskatoon, who's pointing fingers to very concrete players, yet at the same time is not taking a look at its own rules and its own processes, which 100% impact affordability in our city.
The city says the action plan is community-driven and the city intends to uphold its specific role, but rent control would need provincial legislation to implement. At Ag in Motion, people are hearing about a movement to help farmers keep farms in the family. They're also pushing for changes to how farms are passed down from generation to generation. FarmStrong, a company that helps with succession planning, is lobbying the government to change its rules around capital gains exemptions for nieces and nephews. CEO Darren Shrosby says this would make stronger communities by keeping farm families invested rather than large companies running operations. SARM President Bill Huber says corporate farms have benefit, but family farms are the backbone of rural communities, and tax changes should be prioritized.
So there is a lot of people that do not qualify for the tax-free rollover under the CRA rules. Adding nieces and nephews will definitely increase the amount of farmers that have the ability to keep those farms in their families. And it's, hundreds, if not thousands of family farms will be saved.
Shrosbury expects a lot of attention and interest from those attending Ag in Motion this week. He adds protecting the family farm is not just of interest in Saskatchewan, but for farms across the country. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture tells CTV that pre-budget consultations are underway, and they encourage stakeholders and industry to weigh in. The latest round of tariffs imposed by the United States is already causing worry for a local Canadian business. Hugsy's Place is a locally owned business in Martinsville that sells a variety of American snacks. The owner shares that the past year has been a difficult one in trying to navigate the tariffs. However, the upcoming 50% tariff is going to make it difficult to remain in business.
A case of soda pop right now is roughly $10 American. Time we do the math with our 50%, we're going to have to charge upwards of $48, and no one will buy that. I don't care who you are, how rich you are, no one is going to buy a $48 case of soda pop.
Fellner says after the tariffs come into effect, he estimates his business won't be able to stay open much longer than 2 months. Saskatchewan Pulse Growers and the Crop Development Centre at the University of Saskatchewan have partnered up to support lentil and fava bean breeding on the prairies. The partnership, led by the CDC, will work to improve yield and disease resistance in lentil and fava bean crops. The breeding done in Saskatoon will be field tested across the entire Western Canadian region. The CDC says it will focus on resistance to root rot and foliar diseases, as well as herbicide tolerance for lentils. For fava beans, the CDC says it will focus on improved yield, maturity, and plant architecture. The CDC says more than 95% of the lentil and fava bean acreage planted on the Canadian prairies is a CDC variety. CUPE represented Saskatchewan healthcare workers will hold a strike vote this fall, according to their union. After being without a contract since 2023, CUPE 5430 says its members will vote on potential strike action in September. The union represents around 14,000 healthcare workers in Regina and the surrounding area. In a statement, the province says negotiations are ongoing. Regina police are now reviewing the results of a community survey about a mosque broadcasting a call to prayer. The surveys were given to police this week. The initial broadcast last month sparked negative backlash, with police noticing divided opinions from the community. Police say the feedback will be taken into consideration, but the decision whether or not to continue with the broadcast will depend on the city's existing bylaw.
At the end of the day, we can rely on the legislation that's existing in place right now, and so there isn't any opportunity in that bylaw that says public opinion has, a check mark there. So, it's good information for us to look at, but I think at the end of the day, we can only act on the legislation as it currently exists.
The Regina Police Service has not given a timeline for when it expects a decision. It's urging residents to be respectful while the review continues. When we come back, a Saskatchewan summer staple puts down roots on a First Nation. We learn about the Cote First Nation's first berry farm. A Saskatchewan First Nation has opened its very first berry farm. Cote First Nation opened its first berry farm with rows of Saskatoon berry bushes being planted. Chief George Cote says the farm is much needed because of the berry's cultural and spiritual significance. He adds it's going to address food insecurity and that they plan to have more berry varieties in the future. Community members say the chance to harvest the berries will bring back childhood memories.
Back in the day, when I was just a young child there, we used to go picking Saskatoons with my mom. And it was right on Cote Reserve. You know, we didn't have to go far. We could even walk from where we lived. And she taught me a lot.
The first 2 bushes were planted by the youngest and the oldest members of the community. Still to come, Jeff has a look at your weather, plus a high-risk operation. Quebec doctors successfully complete brain surgery on a pregnant woman. So, Jeff, I understand the journey to the center of the Earth begins because it's going to get a little bit hotter over the next few days.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much.
It's hotter in the center.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say, what has Jules Verne got to do with any of this? But anyhow, moving on. No, we've got ourselves some hot temperatures in store. So yes, the center of the Earth is much hotter than the surface. There's no question about that, John. But it's going to feel rather molten as we make our way into the weekend. So hot temperatures are on the way. Right now, the big high pressure area in place. So really not a lot of active weather across Western Canada. What is going to happen as often is the case is that as the day wears on, things heat up. We've got enough moisture on the ground that we get that respiration, that daytime heating, and those clouds show up, and then bam, you've got yourself some pop-up thunderstorms, but not a big organized storm that's making our way. That was not the case for Ontario and Quebec. About 3 rounds of storms went through in the last 24 hours, so that system continuing to move out to the Atlantic region. Actually, it hammered the New England states as well, and that system is continuing to move up through Atlantic Canada. Places like, by the time we all is said and done, places like Halifax may see up to 70 millimeters of rain, so a rainy situation there for Atlantic Canada, ultimately making its way into Newfoundland as well. So let's take a look at our futurecast. So once again, the pressure lines are far apart, so we're not anticipating a lot in the wind, but we do have some of those as we make our way tomorrow afternoon. Here we go, and pop, 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 pop. Yeah, we got a few pop-up showers, but moreover, we do have another low that's sliding in across the north, and we expect a lot more in the way of active weather for northern areas, for the far north of the province, but right now, south and central Saskatchewan, not so much. 13 degrees for Spiritwood overnight under clear skies, a bit more cloud for the Battlefords, 14 degrees, and throughout the region, light and variable winds. 12 degrees for Candle Lake, 14 for Birch Hills, Roster, and 14, and the same temperature and likely sky conditions for Nipawin and Melfort as well, hitting 14 degrees tonight, and then tomorrow really warming up. 29 degrees for Spiritwood under mainly sunny skies, mainly sunny in the Battlefords, 31 degrees, 29 for Candle Lake with big time sunshine. A few more clouds for Birch Hills, but staying at 29. The same for Rostern. Nipawin sunny in 29, and Melfort mainly sunny in 29. So yes, temperatures in and around the 30-degree mark. So here we go with the details for the Gateway City. 13 degrees overnight, slight chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm. Yes, I know I said that yesterday, and that's the same case today. Winds out of the southwest at 10. Tomorrow, well, there you go. We've got ourselves a slight chance of showers and not much change in terms of the wind speed and direction. 30 degrees, though, for a daytime high. So this type of shower, likely one of those pop-up showers in the latter part of the afternoon. Let's take a look at the long-range forecast because it gets roasty and it gets toasty. Not hitting 30 degrees, but getting darn close for Saturday and Sunday. I know yesterday we thought the weekend would be rather unsettled, but right now the forecast is calling for sunny skies on Saturday, 29, staying at 29 with mainly sunny skies on Sunday. Monday, mainly cloudy and 27, 27 on Tuesday, and 1 week from today, mainly sunny and 26 degrees. So all in all, a very warm forecast, and that's great news if you plan on being up at, Waskesiu or many of the other, destinations like Emma or Crystal or Emerald. Those lakes look like they're in good shape to be pretty sweet this weekend.
It'd be a nice place to be. You got to get out that aluminum foil kind of tri-fold thing and get the tan under the neck.
No, we're not going to be doing that.
All right, well, it's an option, Jeff.
Whatever.
Well, as the Riders get ready for tomorrow's East Division matchup with the Edmonton Elks, they have 3 of the league's top receivers to choose choose from. The trio of Kean Schaefer-Baker, Keyshawn Johnson, and Sam Emelis have 10 touchdowns between them this season. Emelis leads the way with 4. Schaefer-Baker and Johnson are number 3 and number 4 league-wide in receiving yards.
I'm very, very fortunate. I love those guys. You know, the fact that Schaefer has never had a 1,000-yard season blows my mind because he's, you know, 1,500-yard receiver. Sam, same thing. I think these guys are all 1,500-yard receivers. I have bigger goals for them than they probably do.
The Riders are going up against an Edmonton defense that ranks in the top 3 in rush yards and pass yards per game. Game time is 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And the team says they will honor the Regina man who died in last weekend's crash, along with one of their teammates. The team says it will tribute to Bhishma Rajaguru before their game against the Edmonton Elks tomorrow night. The 22-year-old died when the vehicle he was driving collided with a vehicle driven by Riders linebacker Jaden Dalkey on Highway 11 near Lumsden on Saturday night. The Riders say they're working with Rajaguru's family on the best way to support them. The team has also said they plan to hold a tribute for Dalkey before the game. On Monday, RCMP said Dalkey was driving on the wrong side of the road and that his SUV had left a gas station without paying prior to the crash. Officers also found alcohol and cannabis in Dalkey's vehicle. Autopsies and toxicology reports are now being done.
The Riders have played in front of some big crowds on Labor Day, but none have been bigger than in 2013, when 44,910 packed Taylor Field to watch the Green Machine take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Saskatchewan was hosting the Grey Cup that year, so that's why they had some extra seats set up for fans. On that day, quarterback Darian Durant, along with running back Corey Sheets, lit it up as Durant passed for over 300 yards and Sheets carried the rock for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saskatchewan went on to win that game 48-25. It was celebration in Riderville. Of course, the only win for the Riders bigger than that one in 2013 was the Grey Cup game played in November. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood-finished televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Doctors in Montreal were able to successfully complete an extremely risky surgery. They operated on a woman's brain while she was pregnant. Sweeta Rassi has the details.
Before and then after.
These brain scans of Zupa Nakayisimatego are a reminder just how quickly life can change. It all began January of 2025. She was working out at the gym when she felt a sudden pop in her head.
I was very dizzy. I couldn't see properly.
She was in severe pain. Her husband took her to the hospital where she found out she had suffered a stroke, which caused bleeding in her brain. Dr. Marie-Christine Brunet at the Montreal Neurological Institute says her condition was rare.
The incidence is about 1 or 2 per 100,000 population.
Nakayisimatego needed surgery, but there was also something else. She was nearly 6 months pregnant. Doctors gave her the option to wait until after she gave birth, but if left untreated, it could lead to a coma or even death. So she decided to go ahead with the surgery.
I had a feeling that my baby would be okay.
Call it a mother's intuition because she was right. After a 10-hour surgery, Nakayisimatego recovered well, and months later, she gave birth to a baby girl. Dr. Brunet says it took a lot of doctors to pull it off, including specialists from the Montreal Children's Hospital.
And they were here on a standby just in case something would happen and we would have to deliver the baby prematurely. Yeah.
Operating on a pregnant patient is not something Dr. Brunet does often, but for Nakai Simatego, there's no doubt she had the right doctor on her side.
She did this incredible thing and she saved 2 lives.
And after a scary start for both mom and baby, they now have the most important gift anyone could ask for: their health. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News.
A new set of graphic health warnings is coming to cigarette packages across Canada. The new designs feature images highlighting the proven health impacts of smoking, both on smokers and to those around them. The Canadian Cancer Society says the warnings have been shown to reduce smoking since they debuted in 2001, and rotating to a new set keeps them from becoming stale. Canada was the first country to require package warnings, and in 2024 became the first to require warnings on individual cigarettes. 6 new messages are coming to that format as well, with all the updated messaging required by August 1st. Researchers behind a new report examining the occupations of people who have died from opioid overdoses are hoping it will raise awareness about the number of people impacted by the opioid epidemic. The report found more than a third of opioid-related deaths between 2018 and 2024 involved people who work in construction or the trades. The lead author says the research reaffirms previous findings that construction workers are disproportionately impacted. However, the study also notes the rate of opioid deaths was similar for workers in the natural resources and agriculture industries. All right, Jeff, going to a water park, probably something you want to do this weekend, and it's probably one of the best things to do at all in the summer. Those 2 little otters at the Miller Zoo in Quebec are enjoying their water slide. They're fed up to 7 times a day to replicate their natural eating habits. And so the zoo says this is a great way for them to stay active and cool during that summer heat. Imagine that. You get to go down a slide and you get a treat. Is there anything better?
It's a pretty good deal. It depends what the treat is, but it's like if you get a snack you like, yeah, good deal.
Like fish sticks? Or
just
maybe
try not to cramp up, though. You don't want to cramp up.
There you go. Good point. You want to eat and then get the cramp. 30 minutes.
Yeah, you want it. Exactly.